Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, so sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I do just want to ask guys, could please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and of course I always do greatly appreciate it. Now overall, we did see that pullback in the market that I was expecting. Just for you guys out there that are aware or not aware maybe, I do have a free Discord where I do talk about the market, kind of give you guys, updates here and there, and we ultimately just kind of chill and talk about crypto. Of course, I told you guys that I was watching Bitcoin closely. Potential targets are about 42 to 43K. I'm still expecting some downward trend, but ultimately this is a free Discord. You guys are more than welcome to join it. But we did see some nice lows being tested on Bitcoin down to about like 44.6K. I do think that we can go a little bit lower. I think that tomorrow, when we do see the indices opening, I think that that's where we will see a lot of downtrend within the market. Of course, XRP testing some, major support at around like the 79-cent zone. As you guys do see on the 3-month span, this is an area that we have bounced off of before, actually going back as far as the March low. So overall, figures are not too, rough from, where we recently were. I do think that alts could bleed out a little bit longer. I'm going to be watching this and addressing it over the next couple days. I do have a few buy orders set up on Casper, actually. I told you guys about 8.5 cents and how that could be tested. We basically almost tested that level exact. I have not hit my buy order. You guys can go ahead and front run me if you want, but I'm still waiting for some lower price action. Also, I do apologize if I do sound a little rough. I'm still sick, as you guys could probably already tell. But let's jump into a few things and let's talk about some exciting things. So first off, I seen this posted by Wrath of Kahneman. Now, overall, I think that this is something that's pretty interesting. So we do see newly posted but old article from research in Turkey, 2019, eliminating trust issues in Islamic interbank monetary system. Now, this was actually very Ripple forward, which I thought was pretty interesting to say the least. And we actually see this, very Ripple bullish. The smart contracts they mentioned being developed likely the old Codius platform. But as you guys do see here, they are talking about Ripple the entire time almost. According to Swan 2015, Ripple Lab is seizing the blockchain technology and reinventing the banking system by giving opportunities to conventional financial institutions to establish businesses more efficiently. Again, I think the idea here is that a lot of individuals think that Ripple's going to replace Swift, for an example, and try to, usurp that massive $5 trillion a day in terms of volume, but that's not the case at all. Like, when we're talking about what Ripple's trying to do, they really just want to kind of build upon what we already have and innovate further. I think that when we're talking about innovation, it doesn't need to be like, hey, this is going to be an Ethereum killer, for an example, right? Because that's a big discussion within this market. Hey, this is the Ethereum killer, that's the Ethereum killer. But when we are talking about things happening within the space, I think that we kind of take that stuff kind of literally, and we think that it's going to amount to a massive price potential. But when we talk about what Ripple's trying to solve here with RippleNet utilizing XRP for on-demand liquidity, it's honestly just making sure everything is running as efficient as possible. Eliminating that pre-funded, $27 trillion in capital, that is so huge as a use case in terms of just liquidity. And then we talk about the $156 trillion cross-border payment market. And then we could talk about some higher price valuations for XRP itself. But also, Ripple themselves is going to grow massively as this technology is adopted more and more. But you guys can see here, I mean, it's all talking about efficiency. It's talking about, without an intermediary in terms of payments through banks. And it is honestly just kind of bridging the banks to one another through a bridge currency, aka XRP. Again, guys, pay attention to things that are happening, especially with a lot of these, little articles that are being posted from, of course, real, this is like actual documents with 100% proof around what Ripple is really trying to build here. And that is, of course, through a massive, new banking infrastructure. So again, pay attention to what Ripple is doing. And we do see talking about, Ripple talking about crypto in general. The UK government plans to create an NFT. The UK government plans to signal its commitment to the crypto technology by issuing an NFT in the coming months. This also comes a little bit later as, the UK is trying to regulate crypto to adopt it fully. That is pretty significant. I want you guys to understand that when we are talking about the significance behind the UK, behind these, major areas running into the idea on, hey, how can we adopt crypto? How can we utilize crypto for a more efficient payment infrastructure? That's great because it streamlines all other areas around the world to also march into that sort of idea as well. And it also helps streamline the things moving forward in the U.S. as well. And fun fact, we actually seen that the U.S. Treasury Secretary Yellen is to speak about digital assets on Thursday. Now, do I think that this is going to be positive? Who knows exactly what is going to be happening with this? I will say this though. We actually got a little bit of a breakdown on things that are happening within this. So we do see here, in addition to the speech on Thursday, Secretary Yellen will be testifying in front of the House Financial Services Committee tomorrow. Crypto will certainly come up in the hearing. And, we do see down here, Treasury Secretary Yellen, set to give a speech on digital assets Thursday. Will be live streamed here. And of course, you guys can kind of see, a little bit behind what this is really focused on. Yellen will deliver remarks on digital assets policy. Secretary Yellen will make the case for a consistent and comprehensive policy framework that promotes responsible innovation of digital assets and appropriately assesses and mitigates the risk they may pose. She will also discuss principles that will guide Treasury's approach to digital asset policymaking and Treasury's work as part of President Biden's executive order ensuring responsible development of digital assets. Now, I want to really kind of remind you guys that, listen, while this is happening, I want you guys to know that I am also a little bit, sort of skeptical on things that are going to happen within the markets. I think that they could react in a little bit of a negative way. So I am going to, I'm going to definitely continue to watch things within this area. A lot of individuals are saying, interesting, the Bank of International Settlement based, in Basel met Monday to discuss digital currency. Wonder if they instructed Yellen. A lot of things are moving forward, especially, excuse me, in terms of digital assets within the regulatory, area. I'm actually very excited to see, these regulations being pushed further and further, especially as we are continuing to see major updates within the SEC lawsuit itself. Now, we also seen JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says blockchain and decentralized finance are real with many use cases. These massive, hedge funds, institutional investors, firms and stuff are finally realizing the true potential behind crypto and digital assets. We do see crypto skeptic and JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says there's validity and utility behind blockchain technology and decentralized finance. We do see we now process payments for 8 of the top 10 global big tech companies, up from 3 out of 10 companies 5 years ago, consistently winning business from strong competitors. We continue to bring to the market and commercialize innovative products such as embedded banking, AI-driven fraud controls and forecasting, and account validation and programmable payments on JP Morgan Coin. Now, the funny thing about this is, these massive, companies seeing the true value behind crypto and, going from the idea on, hey, we need to stop this, because at some point in time, a lot of these, companies, for an example, we do see down here, JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon, Bitcoin is going to be stopped. The shift from, hating on this type of technology to truly adopting it just solidifies the idea on, like, we are so early still in this space, and we're seeing the idea on this technology being so big to the point that it's it's no longer something that they could ignore. But also we've seen this as well. So Ripple partnered to unlock $34 billion cross-border payment market in the Philippines. Guys, I want you to understand that although we are still seeing this case continue on and on and on. Like, for an example, here's a recent update from, of course, the lawsuit. This goes back to yesterday. This is, again, we're still watching innovation still being stifled in the U.S., all while, partners of Ripple, this goes to Australia, to the Philippines, remittances, by the way, are utilizing on-demand liquidity services to transfer massive amounts of money. This is unlocking the $34 billion cross-border payment market into the Philippines. We also know that there's other partnerships that Ripple does have that are already focused on the Philippines as well. I mean, guys, you got to understand that no amount of attacks from the U.S. that go on with Ripple are going to stifle innovation outside of the U.S. Ripple is going to continue to take over globally. I told you guys yesterday with that video talking more so about on-demand liquidity, making it a key aspect of that video. On-demand liquidity is going to continue and continue to expand and expand and expand. And I really want you guys to understand how massive of a use case on-demand liquidity is, not only for the value of XRP, but also the value that Ripple with XRP will unlock. And of course, last but not least, I do want to talk to you guys about that BIS report. So we do see breaking news. The head of Bank for International Settlements is warning that the world economy may be on the cusp of a new inflationary era. We are waking up. Excellent. And we do see the world economy may be on the cusp of a new inflationary era with persistently higher growth in consumer prices due to the retreat of globalization, a leading central bank chief has said. Now, I want you guys to understand that I honestly think that we are ranging into a massive, bear market within stocks and also crypto. Now, listen, we could position ourselves into things that are going to provide us with massive passive income, aka staking and stuff like that. But I do think that we should prepare for the inevitable. And the inevitable is that massive crashing event. Now, I've kind of outlined my overall viewpoints on this. So here's the S&P 500. By the way, just so you guys know, I'm giving you guys a warning before tomorrow. The S&P 500 was at massive resistance. Watch this 618 very closely for a breakout event. We need to have a strong breakout here, or else we will have this massive drop in price yet again, as this was resistance that we tried to tap not only once, but also on 2 weekly candles. Now, I do think that the topping point here for the S&P 500, we have some time to go, but this is ultimately our topping point area between that 1618 and the 2618. Also, NASDAQ, similar structure, by the way. We were hitting some, support here, but we did sort of hit a resistance point. It's not so much a resistance area, but it's still, on the same span of that weekly candle. We're actually breaking up a little bit above the resistance point that we hit back here in February and January, but it's still around that same area. So we really want to break above that 618, not only on, the S&P 500, but also on the NASDAQ as well. But similar structure. Topping points are laid out on the chart. It's between that 1618 and that 2618 area. Same with the Dow Jones as well. Just so you guys know, very similar resistance points being met here at around that 618. That 618 is the golden area for not only the S&P, the NASDAQ, but also the Dow Jones. Also, laid out on the chart, my topping points for the Dow Jones as well. This is where we look at, a repeat of 2008. Ultimately, could we be seeing a repeat of the 2008 crisis? Yeah, I do think that we can. I mean, if we're going off of I honestly think that this is, a very similar structure to what we have been seeing lately. What could we basically repeat, in terms of history? I mean, it's going to happen, especially with what the economy is doing right now. Inflation, things like that. Like, everything is really kind of signaling to this massive, bear market ahead. Now, obviously, this is 2 years in terms of the span. So, I would say that we probably have at least another year to go before this actually happens. I think that this most likely will happen within that 2023 timeframe. Of course, I could be wrong. Who knows? This could be October of 2022 that we are basically talking about. Again, I'm going to say very similar structure to what we have been kind of seeing. I would say we're basically around this point in time where, we had that nice little pullback. I don't want to go off of like, '03 or anything like that because that's like 5 years in span, but it's kind of in a similar structure. But we can technically go off of, the 2005 drops. Of course, the 2005 drops and stuff were not as deep as the March of 2020 dropping points, but it's still a very similar structure that we are kind of trading within currently. I do think that economically, though, we will see that massive crashing formation. Will it be a 50% drop? Will it be a 70% drop? Who knows exactly what it will be? All I know is that I am positioning myself for that inevitable future. Now, what am I going to be doing to prepare? I'm going to be staking at massive percentage rates, more so like, staking Casper, staking, other assets as well. I'm going to probably do a little bit of a video outline on my website, NCashOfficial.com. But until that day comes, I will continue to tell you guys that, I think the safest bet is to, HODL digital assets. I think that, we can utilize, crypto for what it was inevitably in the beginning, invented for, which is, of course, to hedge against a financial crisis like the one that we are basically marching into right now because of mass printing, inflation rates, and so much more. So, with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. If you guys do want more content, exit plans, trading indicators, stuff like that, go check out NCashOfficial.com. But with that being said, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.